Ladies and gentlemen, here to discuss how AI can be leveraged for defense and scientific advantage, please welcome Senator Mike Rounds.
It's always scary when the thing that's up here in front of me is a computer and I'm going to bring out my paper instead. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to visit with you for just a little bit today. I can't tell you how critical it is that we get together with policymakers and individuals that actually understand the technologies that are going to shape our future. It is truly an honor to be here at SCSP to visit with you about the promise of artificial intelligence. And I just want to say a very special thank you to Eric Schmidt, who truly has been a leader in the AI industry, but really has done so much more in terms of allowing those of us that don't have a technical background to be able to understand just how critical this is in the next phase of developing the technologies in America and literally around the world. It is here at SCSP that some of the most innovative minds in technology, science, and business come together to shape our future. Today, I just want to talk a little bit about and visit about the future, which is going to be powered by AI. I have to share with you, I didn't know much about this at all, and I started working on cybersecurity in the Armed Services Committee for the United States Senate back in 2017. John McCain had said he wanted a separate committee for cybersecurity, and a group of us suggested that it would be better to have it as a subcommittee of the Armed Services Committee, and I actually asked him if I could be on the committee, and he says, well, I'm glad that you want to be on the committee because you're going to be chairing it. And I said, I don't know anything about cyber security at all. And he said, it doesn't matter, neither do the rest of us. You're going to have to just learn it from the ground up. But it was through that position that I was able to read the initial reports of the National Security Commission on AI, which had been chaired by Eric. And at the time, it outlined the true opportunity that AI would bring us, including, among other things, the promise of literally ending cancer or curing the vast majority of cancers during my lifetime or even sooner. Since then, I've worked with my colleagues in both the Senate and the House in a bipartisan effort to literally educate ourselves and to better understand the technical aspects of AI. And we got a long way to go. We have, as of last year, we collaborated together on a bipartisan basis. Senator Schumer, Senator Young, Senator Heinrich, and myself, we held 9 information sessions to explore the key policy questions surrounding AI. One of the many things that we learned from our AI Insight forums is the vital role that the private sector and their perspective and how that plays or should play in policy making when it comes to AI, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're an innovator, whether you simply think about these things here today and you recognize how critical AI is in the development of our future. When technology moves as fast as this technology is moving, policymakers such as myself have to step up our game. We've got to try to understand as much about AI as we possibly can, but we have to rely on you as well to share with us your points of view from the parts of the industry that you either represent or you participate in. We recognize the need to regulate AI in a way that incentivizes development that happens here in the United States rather than in China. In other words, we have to put together a regulatory framework which is light in touch and that incentivizes and that keeps the development of AI here rather than allowing it to go someplace else or pushing it someplace else. We want the AI industry to help us figure out exactly what that is. We know that we've got to have those certain items that will make it thrive. We've got to have data, we've got to have the compute, and most importantly, we've got to have you, the people that actually make this whole thing work. We acknowledge that many industries already have technology-neutral regulations, and many industries are already equipped to adapt these large advancements in technology. We have a real opportunity to shape the future of AI, with it, the future for our children and our grandchildren. We need to embrace this challenge with open arms. These sessions made me realize that if we were going to cure cancer and achieve other major scientific discoveries, not only Congress, but the industry, academia, and our scientists, They have to dream big. We've all got to dream big about what America can achieve through the use and integration of artificial intelligence along with scientific innovation into our daily lives. I just look at what happens. What happens when we start to recognize that what might take a laboratory 200 years to do using traditional experimentation, and right now using the integration, agentizing AI with the biomedical research that's happening now, we can do things now in a matter of milliseconds that may take a normal laboratory 200 years to do. That's when things start to get exciting. This is a world where we can revolutionize our energy grid with fusion, deploy cheap and scalable superconductors, and cure cancers and chronic diseases with the help of AI-driven drug discoveries. These breakthroughs are not just possibilities, they are within our reach. AI has already begun to transform the landscape of research and development, allowing us to analyze massive data sets, automate complex tasks, and accelerate scientific progress. But unlocking AI's full potential will take more than just technological advances. It will require visionary leadership, cross-sector collaboration, and an American commitment to leading the world in AI-driven discovery. To meet that moment, Senator Heinrich and I have launched a national initiative to make American science literally 10 times faster by the year 2030. We call it ASAP. To fully harness AI's potential in scientific discovery, we must provide researchers with the tools to work faster and more effectively. Just as the space race pushed the boundaries of human ingenuity in the 20th century and the digital revolution reshaped the industries in the 21st, we now are in a new era, one where AI can supercharge scientific progress. For this to happen, scientific data must be structured in a way that allows AI to extract meaningful insights, making sure that researchers can make full use of the vast amounts of information that are currently being collected. Access to high-performance computing should be readily available so that scientists have access to processing power when analyzing complex problems. AI models need to be trained on real scientific data, not just internet text. AI-enabled discoveries, and all discoveries, should see streamlined, smart regulatory pathways. Americans should have access to the best healthcare technology in the world, and that means taking on our broken biomedical regulatory system head on. If we build this foundation now, we will be well on our way to these major medical discoveries by 2030. I believe that this will be the way to convince the American people of the benefits of AI, because as of now, they are truly skeptical. Recent surveys have indicated that 52% of Americans feel more concerned than excited about the increasing use of artificial intelligence. In healthcare, these concerns are particularly pronounced. A study found that 60% of Americans would be uncomfortable with their healthcare provider relying on AI for their own medical care. However, by demonstrating how AI can enhance the quality of life, such as through more accurate diagnosis, personalized treatments, and improved patient outcomes, we can shift that public perception. Approximately 2/3 of Medicare recipients have more than one chronic condition, one chronic illness. And these recipients make up over 90% of Medicare expenditures. Think of what happened if we can just begin to cure one of those chronic illnesses, what that means for quality of life. In 2023, the federal government has spent more than $1.4 trillion between Medicare and Medicaid, more than the total defense budget of $917 billion. AI, specifically better and more predictive diagnostic care, can cut costs while making recipients healthier, focusing on the quality of life that it can deliver. When people experience these quality of life and monetary benefits of AI in healthcare firsthand, I believe they are more likely to recognize its potential and embrace its integration into our daily lives. I ask that you join us in our project ASAP. Just a few weeks ago, we sent a call out to participate in the American Science Acceleration Project, or ASAP, with a public request for information. I believe accelerating scientific discovery is the key to sustaining a thriving, prosperous American future. Science and innovation are not just levers of economic progress, they are critical to our military and intelligence edge, to secure American leadership now and into the future. Over the past decade, it has become widely recognized that the People's Republic of China is not just a competitor, but an adversary. The Chinese Communist Party seeks to undermine the American-led world order, a shift that would undermine American power, American economic security, and ultimately American standards and values. The CCP has certain advantages over us, particularly in unity of effort. Their industries and government operate as a single entity, making sure that state resources flow efficiently to advance technological and military objectives. All Chinese technologies are dual use, both public and private. But what appears to be a strength is also a weakness. The CCP controls disruptive technology and controls the private sector. When you're in China, they have focused on facial ID so that they know who you are, where you're at, where you're going, and who you associate with. It's an advancement, but it's not an advancement that we want here in America. It is why they have the ability to imprison or disappear their technologists that disagree with them. The CCP cannot tolerate independent private competition. By contrast, America welcomes that dynamic, creative, and beneficial disruption that appears in the private sector. We reward our innovators and we celebrate our inventors. And we don't pick the winners here, we celebrate them. I think that's something that we have to recognize is that as we continue to develop AI, we have to also recognize that patents and copyrights for individuals have to be protected, and yet that same data has got to be made available for training AI models. It's going to take the industries, the artists and so forth to come together and find a path forward to make recommendations to policymakers about how we grow and protect that innovation, but also have access to it for developing the new AI data sets and to be able to train on them. The ability to rapidly adapt and develop breakthrough technologies is truly America's greatest competitive edge. The key is to leverage that advantage more effectively. If we can harness even a fraction more of the ingenuity and productivity of our private sector, we will outpace China in every critical domain, including AI and defense technology. One of the more important areas where this applies is artificial intelligence and its role in military innovation. The United States is home to the world's leading AI developers, and there is a growing interest in strengthening collaboration between these innovators and our national security enterprise. We need that connectivity. Winning on national security means facilitating closer relationships between frontier AI researchers and warfighters, alongside speeding up technological rollout and supporting defense technology startups to bring new ideas to our market. AI will be instrumental in developing, operating, and optimizing advanced military systems, particularly the AI-powered kill webs that both the US and China are developing. It used to be that we talked about kill chains down the line from being able to access and to see it down the line through the weapon system to get to an object. Now we will have webs in which there are multiple observers, multiple sensors coming down to multiple weapon systems to accommodate the goals that we will have. AI enables operators to process vast amounts of battlefield data, organize it, and act on it in real time. The modern battlefield demands high-fidelity sensor networks that can collect and relay critical information to AI-driven decision-making systems, improving precision and effectiveness, along with timeliness. We have already seen the lethal effectiveness of AI-enabled weapons in conflicts such as Ukraine and the Nagorno-Karabakh War, where autonomous systems have changed the nature of warfare forever. But AI's role extends far beyond the battlefield. The United States continues to be the birthplace of cutting-edge AI innovation and Congress has a responsibility to help guide its development in a way that promotes trust, transparency, and privacy. The question is not whether AI will shape our future, it already is. AI is a tool, it is not a destiny. How we develop and deploy it will determine whether it strengthens our economy, national security, and values, or whether we fall behind. That's why we've been working on bipartisan efforts to shape our AI policy and keep the United States at the forefront of AI research, workforce development, and national security protections. Make no mistake, our adversaries are investing heavily in AI to gain a strategic edge. If we fail to act boldly, we risk falling into technological second place, a position we simply cannot afford to occupy. The future of AI is the future of American innovation, and we have an unprecedented opportunity to shape it. And the people in this room are at the forefront of that. We are truly at a pivotal moment. We can either lead or we lose. I think we've come together to choose to lead and to win. We need to do it together. I thank you for your time.